Wednesday. I want to talk with you this week, Robert, about qualities that are lacking in today's leaders. Walk us through that. Can you kind of talk through some of those?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's a bunch. So qualities that are lacking today among leaders. So first of all, we talk about this, just leadership in general is lacking in the mortgage industry specifically. Most mortgage companies, not all of you, look at the leadership structure on like a sales manager level. It's a top producing loan originator. And they really don't have any inkling, like they don't have any drive to lead or develop or help the loan officers in their charge grow. So I think that's a huge miss in our industry. It's a model that frankly is driven by money. When you look at being an LO or like a sales manager or a non-originating manager, there's a lot more money in just the LO role. So you don't have as many people that transition into that non-originating sales manager to really just play an active part in development of talent and growth and all of those things. So just in general, I would say leadership is lacking in our industry as a whole. Specific traits or qualities that are lacking, there's a number of them. One of them is truthfulness. Honestly, we see a lot of, I talk to people all the time that were overpromised and underdelivered, like just got sold a bill of goods, were told things that just were straight not factual in the recruitment process, from a day-to-day standpoint, operations, pick something, right? So just a lack of honesty and integrity in that, unfortunately. One thing that I love telling people is that AndyMac is the only company that I've ever worked with that has kept 100% of the promises that they've made to us as we onboarded and even forward through transition and now through running a branch and growing it. And that's something we take to heart and, we talk about. So, whatever we tell you, you're going to be able to count on. You may not always like it. Like it may not be the answer you want to hear. But you're going to be able to count on it because our integrity is vitally important, and at the end of the day, is really the only thing we have. Plus, as an originator, if you've been in this business any amount of time, operations, in any facet really, if I'm blowing smoke and you come in, you're going to do it in about 37 seconds, and then I'm accountable to that. So just overall, I would think a lack of leadership, and then there's a lack of transparency and honesty. I think a lack of development and training is also there. And I don't think this is necessarily as an intentional. I think it's just happenstance. I think that there are a lot of originators out there who are looking to grow and looking to be successful, and there's not a lot of leadership to train them to get there. There's not a blueprint. There's not a lot of people that have a map, so to speak, to guide you to it. How do I, what's my first hire? How do I build a team? What are strategies that I need to put into place to be able to do that, to free me up to go and build more business? So I don't think that's an intentional thing. I think it's they're just having a lot of people haven't figured it out. So what we see with originators at a lot of companies, the ones that are really successful, have kind of figured it out on their own and have done it in spite of the leadership that they had or lack of leadership that they had in the talent development area. So those type of people, when you plug them into an AndyMac where we focus on goals and business planning and we're driving you to have a set plan for marketing and relationship building. When you take people like that who have been pretty successful in figuring out on their own, and then you plug them into our dynamic platform with our leadership that's holding their hand and telling them, okay, you've done 1, 2, now let's do 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's where you get explosive growth. And that's where we see originators come in and double, triple, quadruple their business in partnering with us. And that's a really cool thing, right? We talk about it, I call it the ripple effect. It's, because then what will happen is then they start looking at who they can help and start just passing the knowledge along, right? It's not rocket science. What we're doing is not, splitting an atom. Like it's wash, rinse, repeat pretty much, right? Like building a team for an originator in Florida isn't a heck of a lot different than building a team for an originator in Texas or Mississippi or wherever, right? The principles are the same. So once we have that dialed in and it works, we'll just replicate it. That's the easy button. So I think those are probably the biggest ones that we see on a daily basis, and the ones that we try to combat, and where we have a distinct differentiator. Not only just from other brands, other mortgage companies, but also other branches. Right? Like it's a game changer.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you next week.